Moments, and I am bringing you another in our Hawaii collection of layouts. This happens to be the project recipe for Tropic Time, which is a collection that just released this year in January. And I am going to show you how I'm going to kind of modify this to work with some of the photos that I am going to need to have put in my album. This is a situation where I have some enlargements that I need to use, and so I'm going to show you how the project recipe is meant to be put together. Then I'm going to show you how I'm going to modify that so that I can accommodate a couple of 5x7 enlargements instead of using the smaller photos that the project recipe calls for. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get inspired and can use this in your own albums. So let me take you to my desktop. Hang on one second. Okay, so here on my desktop I have the project recipe for Tropic Time. I also have let me see, 3 designer sheets of paper from the collection, and I have 2 pieces of cardstock. This is the so I have a piece of tangerine cardstock and a piece of the Island Waters cardstock, which are actually called for in our project recipe. So I am trying to stick with the directions as much as possible, even though I am going to modify it slightly. Okay, so I'm also going to be using this new punch that we have that just came out. This is the Monstera Leaves Border Punch, and these are very popular in tropical climates, and so they make a great addition to a layout like this. Just perfect, actually. And we're also going to use our jumbo circle that works with our custom cutting system. I know I did just use this in another layout recently for our Disney collection of videos, but we're going to use it today in conjunction with this project recipe. I actually didn't plan that, it just was sort of a happy accident. And we're going to use our red blade with the jumbo circle. So let me see here. We're going to need to clear out some of this so that we can get some things cut. Let's move our punch and our adhesive out of the way. And I'm going to move the jumbo circle out of the way just for a moment. And we'll get back to that shortly. I'm going to move my cardstock also. And we'll grab my trimmer. And let's see here. So the first thing that we're going to do, actually, I'm gonna be using these 2 pages as base pages, so those are the 2 that I need to set aside. I don't know, I'm losing my mind here, so give me just a second. We'll keep these handy and we'll get to them in just a second. First thing we're gonna do is punch. So let me grab the border punch that or the designer punch that I moved over, and I'm gonna use this leaf paper. We're gonna punch the Monstera leaves out of the leaf paper. I'm gonna punch 2 of these. If you've never used one of our punches before, they are rather unique and pretty cool, I think. You just push your paper all the way to the back, to this shoulder back here, and start at either the right or the left mark on the very front of the punch with the edge of your paper. And you punch and slide until you get to the other side. And each time you slide, you're covering up the blue design that matches your punched design on the side you're sliding to. So since I'm sliding along towards the left side, that's the pattern I'm matching. You can see that. Okay, so there's one border. I'm going to just jump back over here and do one more because we need 2. So I'm going to start at the notch on the left-hand side with even with the left-hand side of my paper, and my paper pushed all the way to the back, bumper. And we're just going to punch and slide. Running out of room. One more and this one is done. Okay, there we go. So we have our two borders. Set that aside and get rid of my punch confetti here. All right, now I'm going to use my trimmer, and we're going to cut two 1-inch pieces. First, I'm going to just even up this edge because it looks like it's not completely even. And that's going to bug me. Sometimes when you use a punch, if you're not extremely careful, you can end up with a tiny bit of irregularity. Okay, so I need two 1-inch pieces of this. So there's one, and there's two. And I think I need to flip my mat because that edge is not cutting very nicely. So bear with me a second. There is side number 3. So it should cut better now. Okay, now according to the project recipe, I need to cut a piece that is 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. I need 2 of those pieces. However, I actually am going to be using this paper with a 5 by 7, and I don't want to have to cut a second piece. So just know that you will be cutting 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. But I am going to cut a piece that is 5 3/4. So there's my 5 3/4 cut. And that's extra. 5 3/4 by 8 1/2. And then we're going to see how, if we want to trim it down from there. That looks awfully big for 5 by 7, but we'll see. I don't use enlargements very often, so this is going to be a little bit different. Okay, and then this remaining piece, we need 2 pieces that are cut at 3 1/2, which is this last piece is 3 1/2 high. Okay, so we've already got it at 3 1/2. We need to turn it horizontally and cut at 2 3/4. So we're going to cut 2 3/4, and we're going to cut another one at 2 3/4, and get rid of this little itty bitty dude. Okay. So that's what we're going to use our green leafy paper for. Now we're going to grab our tangerine cardstock. And with your tangerine cardstock, I'm going to show you what you're going to cut. And I'm going to cut it just like you will, but I'm actually going to modify mine. So 4 1/4, you want to put your paper at the 4 1/4 mark on the left-hand side. We're going to cut 2 squares that are 4 1/4 square. So 4 1/4, and then up here we're going to go with 4 1/4 again. I'll use, I know you're probably going, why are you cutting that if you're not going to use it? Well, I want to show you what it looks like, and I will use them on another layout, I promise. Don't worry. Okay, so we want 4 4 1/4 squares. So I'm going to cut another strip at 4 1/4. go. So now I have 4 4¼ inch squares. That leaves me with this little guy. And this little guy I'm going to cut at 2 3/4 so that we can make some squares with it. So 2 3/4. And then this just set aside. We're going to turn that and we're going to do another one at 2 3/4. That doesn't seem like enough because I'm supposed to be able to make another square out of that. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm so sorry. I'm using, okay, erase. We're going to back up. That extra piece after we cut the second set of 2 squares, just set aside. Sorry about that. I'm crazy. Don't pay attention. Okay, so then we're going to cut, I'm going to cut two lengths of the remaining piece at 2 3/4. So here's one. I'm going to cut another one at 2 3/4. Then I'm going to set this piece aside. I'm going to stack these two together, and we're going to put it again at 2 3/4 so that we have 2 squares. Sorry, I confused myself. You guys are probably confused too. I apologize. All right, and then we're going to cut these into triangles. So opposing points on your cutting line. All right, and then just bring your blade right through from point to point to make 4 triangles. Okay. Now I'm going to put this away for just a second and going to grab my jumbo circle and my red blade, and we're going to cut the jumbo circle. The jumbo circle needs to be as exactly centered as possible. So if you need to, use your cutting guides that are on your cutting surface. If you're using the CM reposition or the CM self-healing mat, you can center it fairly easily. Should be able to anyway. I am going to do this the old-fashioned way and just use my eyeballs. The trick is that the top one is harder to see, but I think you need to just go up just a smidge. Okay. Now I'm going to use my red blade and I'm going to go around, I believe it's the outside, but let me just double check. Yes, the outside of the jumbo circle with the red blade. So I'm going to hold this down very firmly, put the pegs in the outside track, and push down on that blade as I move it around the circle. Continue pushing down until you are done cutting so that the circle doesn't move around. Okay? All right, there we go. Here's our circle. Gonna set that over there. Now don't get rid of this. We need the triangles off the corners of this. So grab your trimmer again. And this is what I'm going to have you do so that they're all even. Fold your paper in half. Corner to corner. Like so. And fold it again, corner to corner. And if you were reasonably close with centering, you will be good to go. All right. Now we're going to place the upper edge of our paper on that 45-degree line, and we're going to scoot our paper, our cardstock, until the arch that we cut using the red blade is right on the cutting line for our straight cut. Okay, so 45-degree angle line right here, and the arch is right on the cutting line right there. We're going to push down really hard because we're going through 4 layers of cardstock. That's actually quite a lot of cardstock to cut through. And now we've got our 4 triangles. I actually probably could have cut that just a little bit closer because I do have a tiny little bit of a divot, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so now we need to do one more thing, and that is we're going to cut our circle at 4 inches. So I'm going to put the edge of my circle at the 4-inch line over here, right here, 4-inch line, the edge of my circle, and I'm going to cut that much off of my circle. Okay, because this circle is partially on one page and partially on another page. All right, now I'm going to set my trimmer aside and grab my base sheets. So here are my base sheets. Okay, we're going to, first off, we're going to place, let me just double check my instructions, make sure that I'm not leading you astray. Okay, it says to adhere pieces U and V first. Those are the circle pieces. That's what I thought. So I just wanted to make sure that I was not going to do anything crazy. Okay. So I'm using this pretty sunshine paper right here and then this cool graph paper. I'm going to grab my permanent adhesive and put this circle down. Going to center it right on the middle of my paper. The best way I can recommend that you do that is just take a look at how much paper you have from the actual cut edge to the edge of your paper on the top and the bottom. And that will help you get it centered on there. Okay. Now when you do this one, we're just going to match it up with the other, like you've seen me do when I've matched up other things. So I'm going to put my 2 pages together like so, and then we're just going to match that circle back up. All right, so that's where we're going to start. Now we're going to take these long strips right here, the 1-inch strips that you cut, and these, let me double check, but I think these get flipped over. Oh, one is upside down, one is flipped over, and the other is not. Okay, so we're going to have one be one direction and one be the other direction. And these are going to be roughly 1 inch from the top of the page. So So I'm going to put this roughly an inch from the top. You could measure it if you want to, you don't have to. But wherever you put the one, you ought to put the other. So put one on and then match the other one up. So put your circle back together. Alright, so there's that. Now we're going to take our leaves, and our leaves are going to be okay, so that kind of frustrates me because this clearly says, that's my fault. I beg your pardon. This strip right here was not 1 inch, it's supposed to be 1.5 inches. I'm so sorry. I'll fix that as I as I do my editing. But that strip is supposed to be 1.5 inches. So that, as you can see, it's the same width as the leaves. My bad. Okay, so my page is going to turn out a little bit different than yours. That's okay. Okay, so grabbing my repositionable adhesive. Get some repo adhesive put on these leaves. I'm just going to center mine, which is what you will do with yours. Even though yours will have, will be cut correctly, and you'll have that design on underneath showing much more. As they say, we correct, we adapt. Could say that I did it on purpose, but I didn't really do it on purpose. It was just sort of an accident. So I have one of my daughters down here, and she's laughing silently over here on the couch. I don't know if she's laughing at me or if she's laughing at something else, but that's okay.
No, I'm laughing at the video I'm watching.
Oh, she's laughing at the video she's watching, she says. Okay.
I'm trying not to laugh.
Alright. Alright, now these pretty Island Waters corners go over each of these corners. So use your repositionable adhesive because you'll want to get all the way to the point. And then put these in each one of the corners. You can never tell when they're watching a video and when they're just chuckling to themselves.
What was that? I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
I wasn't really talking to you, so it's okay.
Oh. Hello, YouTube.
Oh boy. All right. One more. Okay, now we're going to take these cute smaller triangles and they're going to go inside of each of the other triangles. Because why not, right? So we're just going to make sure that we have an even border. I'm making mine about 1/8 of an inch at the corners. Okay, we're going to put a sticker across here. So that's why I wasn't really too concerned about the fact that my cut was a little bit off. All right, now let me show you how this would lay out if you were going to be doing this the traditional way, or the way that it's designed. So each of these 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 squares is going to represent a photo, or frame a photo, mat a photo, and go in these corners here, and then not those, these two smaller ones that we cut. These are, I don't think you flip these over, but let me just double check them and see. Oh, you do. So one is reversed. Let me see if they match, if they're supposed to match. H and B. No, okay. So this one would go over here, and this one would be flipped and go over here, like so. And then your pieces that go here would be the 5 3/4 by 4 1/4 mats that that you would have cut from this same paper right here. Okay, and those would go here horizontally. But because I am working with some 5x7s today, I am going to use a 5x7 with this and do some creative things on this side. So bear with me a second, but I'm going to take all of this off. Another thing I forgot to do that I need to do, and you will need to do, is we need to add some stickers to the corners. So I'm going to grab my 12-inch stickers that come in the sticker pack, and we need a 12-inch sticker to go across this edge right here. And I was thinking of using these suns, which will, I think, look fine everywhere except for on the sun paper, which is kind of a bummer. We could use the diamonds, or we could use the teardrops. Let's see, maybe we'll use the teardrops just because I want it to have some kind of more of a defined edge. It's so hard to see actually how that would be. I think I don't want that much red because my photos have more orange and blue and green in them. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Yeah, let's go with that one. Okay, so I'm going to just take off one of these stickers and we're going to lay it right along that edge, and I'm going to go right off the edge of my paper and then I'll just trim it a little later. Okay, so I'm going to do like that. Grab my scissors and go ahead and trim this because I need that sticker to cut or to put on the opposite corner. Right. So now we're going to put this one across there. And it just goes off just a tiny bit as well. So I'm just going to trim those really quickly. Okay. I need to do the other side. And we're gonna just keep that edge right on the edge right there. Edge of the sticker. And then this one, same thing here. I'm going to try to keep that edge right where it needs to be. Okay. All right, so I think this is going to be too big, but let me show you what I'm going to do here. If you've been to Hawaii, then you know that they have these giant banyan trees. And our hotel had one of the oldest, at least that's what they said, on the island. And I took a bunch of pictures of this tree and I pieced them together because I just thought it was the coolest thing. So I'm going to place this tree on this side of my, I think on this side of my layout. This is what the tree looked like in just one photo. It was impossible to get the whole tree in one photo. So I made my husband stand there for just a little bit longer, and I took multiple photos of the whole tree and then I pieced them together. The key for doing that is to stand in one place, and your angles are not all exactly perfect, but as you put the photo back together, that you come close. You can see how my grass or my this island of ferns doesn't quite match up down here, but most of the branches up here match up. So at any rate, that's that. I have these enlargements right here that are really cool of us. This was our first trip to the beach at Hawaii. We had just arrived and we walked down to the beach at sunset, which was really, really nice. Not necessarily romantic, but just really, really nice. It was a fun experience. I sank into the sand like crazy. So that part was a little bit crazy, but as you can see, the sun is setting behind us and it was really, really pretty. So I wanted to include these shots because that was on this same walk when we found the banyan tree. I think I'm going to trim this up just a little because I don't like how gigantic it is. And I want this, I believe I want it to be about 8 inches. Do I want it to be 8 inches? Maybe maybe not 8 inches. Maybe more like 7 3/4. Let's go with 7 3/4. Okay, so I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is make another mat from the peach. I happen to have a little bit more peach right here. And so I'm gonna do a 7 3/4 by, what was this one? What did we do with this one? This one is 5 3/4. So 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay. And then those two photos can be matted. Okay. And then I have these extra photos here of, that's another one from the beach, but same type of picture. These are pictures of our hotel, which would be fun to include, but I think might be too much now that I've got these photos on here. So let me go ahead and secure these pictures, and then we'll kind of try to decide if we need anything else other than embellishments. Okay. Now we're going to cover up most of our leaves up there by doing it this way, but those are taken at the same time, so I feel like they need to be in the same layout. Is that weird? Maybe it's weird. And actually, that's funny, I just noticed this, but this is a picture that I could probably layer as well, because this was the interior of our hotel, and this tree is the same, and that banyan tree is the same, and that person sitting there is the same. See, so we could just layer that up, and then you can get a better picture of what the interior of the hotel looked like. Our room was up here somewhere. I think I want to put that on a different layout so that I can put those together. So we're not going to include those tonight.
Almost like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, my daughter says almost like I did it on purpose. Kind of, I suppose. Okay, so we're going to put these down, and I'm just going to take a second and secure some more of these photos together, because basically I just put some removable adhesive down as I was playing with putting them together. And I just need to make sure they're not going to come apart. Okay. Anything else looking fun and free? Nope, I think we're good. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of be generous with my adhesive on the back so that I can make sure that this is going to be secure when I put it down. And not be flapping around. Okay. And if I put it kind of more, a little bit more in the center of my page, then I can add embellishments. I can add a little bit of journaling down here in the circle about the banyan tree. I can use maybe a little bit of this as my journal box. Where's my all-purpose tool? There it is. So let's pop this up and we'll stick this underneath there. And I can use that to explain a bit more about the photo. Okay. These mats probably didn't need to be quite so big. I almost feel like I should cut them down, but I'm not going to. So it is what it is. I'm going to put them very close to the edge though, because I want these are going to overlap each other. You can see I'm repurposing a little bit of cardstock that I had printed something that I was wrong on. I'm all about repurposing and making it work as much as we can. I'm just gonna set those like bricks on top of each other. Maybe what I should do is move this up just a little and then move the other one up just a little so it's centered better. Now that I got these both set down. This one's not set down as much. So we're just gonna, let's see. We're gonna make it about 1/4 of an inch border. I'm not going to seal the edges of that until I get this one placed, and we'll see how it all works, how it all looks. Come on, pop up off there. So again, they're stacking them at the top or in the middle here. So they meet, both of those mats meet each other. Okay, now let's do some embellishing real quick and then we'll be done. One more layout down, as they say. So I have to say I was not like super excited about Tropic Time because these are not the colors that really I thought I was going to want to work with. I have a lot of serene waters that I'm going to be using with these photos, but I was super excited when I saw the turtles on the sticker sheet because we did go snorkeling in Turtle Bay looking for turtles, and we actually did see a turtle on the shore while we were there, so I was excited. Now I have stickers that I can embellish the pages with the turtles. So we didn't actually get to see any when we were snorkeling. They were there, we were just super far away from them. But I was excited when I saw that in the sticker sheet. let's see, we should we do Life with You is an Adventure? I think that would be appropriate, right? Or should we save that for using with the airplane photos? Maybe we'll save that for the airplane photos. We could use Tropical Paradise, Peachy Vacay, Going Places, Sunshine. Let's use Tropical Paradise. I like that. That's cool. But in our case, it was warm. It's kind of funny. I can't remember if I've said this before, but my husband was all about checking the weather consistently before we left for weeks and months ahead, telling me, what the temperature is in Hawaii? And I would say 70, and we'd be pretty close. What you don't really realize, though, is that it's maybe 70 degrees, but the humidity makes that temperature ramp up. So, just a fun fact for you, in case you plan on traveling. Just know that, yes, it is 70 degrees or thereabouts most of the time in Hawaii, which is lovely. And the breezes are amazing. But the humidity is pretty amazing too. And it does make it feel a lot warmer than 70 degrees. So, I guess that's because it's the tropics, right? I'm just going to try and fit one more little foam square right there. Mostly. It pretty much works. Okay. I'm going to add another one up here for the D. Almost went off the edge. Okay, what else are we going to use besides Tropical Paradise? So I'm just barely layering the bottom of my T and my P with the top of the P and the D in Paradise. That will give it a little bit more support so it will not stick to my page as easily, which is good. Okay, let's see. I have these embellishments we could use to add some pretty leaves and flowers. Those are flowers, flowers. Here comes the sun, there's a sun. We've got a couple of palm trees, which we could use over here maybe. Aha, a surfboard. That will come in handy when I get to the beach pictures. Some leaves, some more leaves, which maybe we ought to use since we've got the leaves up there on top. Let's see, we'll set them over there. More palm trees, and leaves, pineapple, fantastic. Okay, all right, so I think we're gonna just do some flowers, maybe some leaves. I think I'm gonna use those two little palm trees. Let me take a look at where they suggested to put our embellishments real quick. I know we need to wrap this up. Okay, so they're recommending embellishments down here in the corner, right here near a journal box, and up here on the other photo. I've already got one right here, so I would probably say let's put another one here and maybe here, and that kind of draws the eye across. So we'll put maybe some flowers with a leaf or something in that center area. Maybe a smaller leaf. This one. Maybe a white flower. Could do something kind of like that. And then we'll have the palm trees down here. And I feel like there needs to be something down there with the palm trees. Let's see. Maybe we'll say unwind. I'm going to add that word because that's definitely what we were doing. We were unwinding after a day of traveling and flying, and a long day of flying. It takes a while to get there. And I'm going to pop this up on top of those palm trees. Okay. Come on, get off there. We're going to say unwind. Okay, and then these flowers. Let's see, I think I'm going to just put this guy down like so. And then we'll pop up the flowers. And then I think I might add a flower to the title up there also. I feel like it needs one, don't you? So we'll stick these guys kind of right there. And then maybe use I feel like red. We need the red one. Go stick down. Okay. Tropical Paradise. Stick that guy right in there. Okay. Okay, I think I am good with that. I think the only thing actually that I might do is take one of these cute little red stickers and add this in, I don't know where, maybe just right there, just to kind of carry that red across just a little bit better. All right, what do you think? I know that this was a little bit less conventional than normal for a project recipe because I didn't end up using the mats in the way that the project recipe is designed. But I will take a picture and add it at the end to show you the actual project recipe layout so that you can replicate that for yourselves. If you are not using enlarged photos like I am on this layout. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this and I appreciate you joining me. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you've subscribed to my channel so that you can make sure that you get all of the videos. And I would really love it if you would share my channel with those you know who are also enjoying paper crafting and scrapbooking, so that they can get help with their layouts as well. All right, thanks so much. And again, I hope you have a great day and I wish you many more creative moments. Thanks.